Let's see what's going on. Apalachee High School. Well, let me mute this. It says the high school in Winder in Barrow County is currently on lockdown. The school was put on lockdown after reports were received about gunfire. Fox 5 Atlanta received multiple calls, phone calls, and messages about a possible shooting and has a crew on the way to the scene. That's it. Damn. I really have no information. Apalachee. Let me look it up on Twitter. Let me see what's going on. Apalachee High School. It's not safe for the kids anywhere. They're saying mass shooting? What? See? Wrong caption? Should be the right. No, did it mess up? The nudist title's there? Really? On my screen it says school shooting. Oh, it changed. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna fix it. Thank you. Alright, thanks. Bye. Hey guys, sorry about that. I don't know why I did that. I'll fix it. I don't know. I had the high school shooting and then it changed to the nudist. I don't know. The nudist thing. But I'll update it. Thank you. So there's this situation going on currently, like on the screen right now. That's the live feed. I'm trying to find out more information about this high school. It's in Georgia. Did anybody get shot? They're saying shots fired, but was anybody hurt? I don't know. Let me see. They're saying active shooter 5 minutes ago. Emergency services responding to active shooter incident. Okay. Receiving reports of an intruder inside of Apalachee High School with a teacher potentially shot. I live right by the school, heard tons of sirens go by, at least 50 people. That's so weird that it changed. Maybe it's the app that I'm using. Maybe it's not a good streaming app. It's in Georgia. I'm gonna. So this is like a helicopter right now flying over. Damn, even Daily Mail is talking about it. Daily Mail. Daily Mail. Georgia school on lockdown. I meant active shooter. Reports of active shooter. Okay. So, school shooting. Active shooter. Bro, I was gardening right now. I know that's kind of like I'm like in a whole nother world, and then I get these stories, so I jump on. But Georgia shooting. Let's see what else I can find. Oh shit! That's somebody on the floor, right? Oh my god! I don't know if they're deceased or they're getting help. Oh wow! Bossy. Oh, so it looks like they're alive. I guess they're getting some medical attention. Apalachee High School. I want to know what Daily Mail has to say about that. Daily Mail. Okay, there's a Daily Mail article 15 minutes ago. All right, so Daily Mail says reports of an active shooter. This is in Georgia, in Winder, in Barrow County. Okay, they're put on lockdown. Multiple calls about a shooting, which remains unconfirmed. There's ambulances and police forces out there. At least one person was loaded into a medic helicopter. So somebody was taken into a medic helicopter. Usually that's like very urgent, like let's see what else. Um that's it. There's not much information. Hello? Oh, they want to mute it? Okay, we could do that. Okay. Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, we can mute it. There's nothing. Mute the sound. I got a text about that too in a call. Okay, yeah, I'll mute it. There's nothing that we're gaining from hearing the. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Okay, so let me. Okay, I'll see if I can find some updates. This situation is in Georgia. What I can do is, oh my god, let me. I'll add that to the title. Georgia. Let me add that so people can know the location off rip. Apalachee High School on lockdown, Georgia. I'll do that. All right, Georgia. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. What's going on here? There's a lot of kids. And what I'll do as well is let me search Facebook. I tried Twitter, but let me search Facebook, see what they say. Facebook. Okay, they're live. Same feed. Same thing we're looking at. They're saying active shooter. Okay. Yeah, they're saying active shooter at the scene. I don't know. You can't. There's nowhere that's safe anymore. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to like movies. You can't go to the mall. You can't even go to school because this is what's happening. You know. I'm trying to look up different articles. Hard lockdown, large police presence. One person was loaded into a medical helicopter. There were at least 6 ambulances on the scene. Okay, all right. Let's see. I could try to pull up some radio feed too. Let me see if radio works. Some scanner audio. Let's see. Oh, okay. Eddie in the chat says he has siblings that are there. Oh my god. I couldn't even imagine. Like if I got that call, my daughter, my kid was in the like. But I guess that's the reality of what's happening now. Let me check the scanners. Top fees. Georgia. Nothing. What? Okay. Like Georgia. 54. Okay. Guess I can try that. No way, Guardian. Guardian saying 4 dead, 6 injured. I'm gonna have to check that. I'm gonna look into that. Let's see, 50 something. All right, let's listen to this.
25 at all.
Just another day. Wow.
46. Your case number is 12002. 12002.
Clear, thank you.
Just another day. I mean, it looks like they're all on the outside. Apalachee High School.
907, you still 10-4.
Okay, I got another feed. I think it's the same one though. Let's see. Yeah, same one. Okay. There's a lot of kids out there, man.
Right, just to show them.
What's that? Shooter's been apprehended?
9042, you see that shooter up there in front of you?
Shooter apprehended.
Blue scooter driver has that helmet. Where's he at? Yeah, 9, low volume. Northbound 61 just went through the triangle.
3 dead. And a couch.
Alright.
You said a couch? And a couch got shot in the neck? What? Somebody got shot in the neck? Oh my god. I don't know what to say anymore, man.
40 figure fast code 1 house 1 hamburger.
Nuts!
10-4. 932 dispatch.
Go ahead.
23 Villa to middle.
Clear.
something. 57 dispatch, 10 minutes dispatch.
Clear.
Flash unit 10 on.
Engine 21 dispatch.
Go.
Engine 21 to service. .27 dispatch, 23, copy 28.
Go.
Through Alabama, 43A3R2R, 43A3R2R. Jim 4. If you could use run the tag through CAD, see if anybody's gotten out with it already or if it was left here on a 95 or something.
10-4, stand by.
Let's see if there's anything else they're talking about. Apalachee High School. The latest.
At Apalachee High, about 1,900 or so students at Apalachee High. So it's a pretty big student body. And you can see the number of cars there, students and staff, cars, people who would have shown up for a typical Wednesday school day. But this day is turning out to be anything but typical. If there's about 19.
School lockdown.
I'm not seeing any history for it.
Hey, what's up, already? Welcome. If you get it, the like
10-4.
button.
Was the person that called the property owner?
Trying to find out more information as we go.
What do you want to say now?
Again,
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, 243 Highway 100.
Come on. On
I
South
know,
Park
okay.
Street,
Yeah.
1301, South Park Street at Goodwill for diabetic. 65-year-old
Apalachee
female,
High,
constant
so
breathing.
it's a
She's
pretty big
completely
student
alert.
body,
She's behaving normally.
and you can
She is
see
breathing
the
normally.
wow.
Can you send to Burwell 44 Stand Hill, please?
Multiple shots fired. Okay.
44 is clear.
Damn, that's crazy. Let me see what I can find on Facebook, what they're saying. Active shooter. Okay. Students cleared to be released to parents. Okay. Let me hold on to this live feed. That's a good live feed. This is the times that we're in right now. School shootings, mass shootings. You can't send your kids to school.
Dispatch 953.
I didn't think about that. Maybe might be a good idea. Yeah.
Good.
I'm sending that 88 back to your cab from earlier. I walked that gentleman through how to take that blocker off his phone. Hopefully you can get through.
Simple. Ma'am.
Clear.
People are saying 4 people deceased. Supposedly, allegedly. I don't know. That's what they're claiming, Tammy. I don't know.
45 dispatch.
Some people are saying 4 dead, 7 shot. 2 teachers were
45.
shot. My neighbors are teachers there.
Carrollton.
Damn. Wow.
Engine 23 is on the thing.
Clear.
That says civil unit.
Lord Almighty.
Dispatch 232.
Go ahead.
I thought it was called, and the regular was supposed to be at 2:30. They're advising now that the 1059F is 11:30. They're ready now. They're going to be going to Corinth Poseyville Church. This is 27 Turbine on Corinth Poseyville.
-8, negative contact.
T32, High Tower's requesting to meet with you. Reference the route they're needing to take due to construction.
Well, clear. 232, where you at? 27 Mormon. Clear. I'll run by High Towers real quick. Just come down here. That way we can get some help with the intersection. Simple.
This house is clear.
Oh, shit. Damn. I am local. 2 football teachers and a teacher. 2 football coaches and a teacher. Wow. Let's see what else. Yeah.
So students at Apple.
There's got to be. Hold on. Let me look this up.
215 to check.
Yeah.
Did you clear my last trip?
10 more.
Yeah. This
Price, Sandhill, Hickory Level, Blue, Chevy, Silverado, David X-Ray, David
cleared and
926.
students are being
He can
released to
hold.
their families. Students may be picked up from the school. Buses will also run for students needing transportation to their homes. The school says it will share more information as soon as it can. So that's the big update right now, everyone. We're just getting that in. I had to keep refreshing here. I'm not getting any information from anyone else right now, but we are updating. We're updating here all in real time right here on the desk, as you can imagine. Barrow County Sheriff's Office says that they will post updates to their Facebook page. So let me just put that on my screen here so I can continue to look for any updates. Right now, they have in their last update coming August 24th on a non-related post there. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that for you. Here on Live Now from Fox, massive school presence right now at the school. Students are being released to their family members, and that is why we were seeing just so many people come to the school right now. So we are going to be keeping an eye on this here for you on Live Now from Fox. Again, shortly before 11:30 a.m. Eastern, the school told Fox News that the school has been cleared and students are being released to their families. We have not learned if anybody has been hurt. Sky Fox did say in their report, though, that at least 2 people before our coverage began, at least 2 people were observed being put into helicopters to be flown to hospitals for treatment. But again, we do not know the cause for that at this moment. So the scene has been cleared. There's not a threat now anymore to the school.
Oh, so it's clear.
And
okay.
Students are being taken back by their parents. So we'll wait and see for more updates here on Live Now from Fox. Stay right here with us. We'll wait for the updates, and when we get them, we will bring them right here to you on Live Now from Fox. Again, keeping an eye out on Barrow County, Georgia. Apalachee High School is just a week into their new school year here, not even, and dealing with this situation. So we'll keep an eye on everything here for you. More to come in just moments on Live Now.
Bing, 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 bing. Like, you can't be happy. Never mind. Can't do that. You can't. So I guess it's cleared. By the way, I don't know if you guys... Wasn't that Tennessee school shooter? Hold on. Tennessee school shooter. The manifesto came out? Or something? I thought it was Tennessee. Let me see. Yeah, they released the school shooter's manifesto in Tennessee, the Covenant School. And this person it seemed to be struggling with their identity. They were, I guess, transgender, identifying as a woman. They killed 6 people in Nashville at the Covenant School. And, let me see. They released the manifesto.
Seems like we're investigating those reporting on this killer more seriously than we're investigating the killer herself. To that point, that is exactly how we got to this point, to the point of a journalist being threatened with contempt and jail time for publishing material in the public interest. That happened not just because this judge is potentially hostile to it. That happened because another so-called journalist tattled on this guy for doing a good job investigating. When Leahy and the Star started publishing this material earlier this month, local NBC affiliate WSMV reporter Stacey Cameron called the judge and said, "Hey, have you heard of this leak?" "Why no," the judge said. "I was not aware of it." "Well then, hey judge," Stacey asked, "have you considered holding Leahy or the Star or anyone else?"
Writings of Nashville school shooter, mass shooter. Disturbing to read. I don't even think I can read this on here, but they did. I know they Steven Crowder, they shut him down. He got like a strike or something initially for talking about it. They're saying it's out now, supposedly. It's weird. Grip testing the diary of Audrey Hale, the trans-identified woman who shot dead 6 people at the school in Tennessee last year. Entries reveal that Haley fantasized about having a penis. Oh my god, no way. So they're saying it's a 90-page diary that's come out about this 28-year-old. Okay. What the? I'm trying to see if I can find the actual, like, concrete details. Oh, yeah, they even posted pictures. Covenant School Mass Shooters Manifesto release. So they did release it. So they're saying this person had problems. I'll show you guys. They're saying the person had problems with, like, mental health, you know, and what else? Mental health difficulties, gender identity, and planning for the March 2023 attack that killed 6 people. And I guess the writings have come out, which included a notebook and other police seized materials. It contains new information but lacks clear political motivation. Hale's writings reveal major mental health issues and consideration of violence over a period of years. Soon I will leave this world. You plus your friends will be just fine. Does it even matter if I'm alive? I will regret nothing. I regret nothing in my own death. No regrets by the gun. I said my last goodbye to you today. That post was not post. It was my unaliving note. I'll be dead in 2 weeks. This sounds like some like Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance. I love their band. I feel like I'm reading like lyrics to these people. So as much as my heart pours out to you, no longer will I bother you about now or no, how much I love you. That's not necessary to your heart. All pain must end someday, so I must die. But why do you gotta take out and kill random innocent people? I don't get that. None of what my heart will matter until I die. The signs will never be 100%. I love you, but you can't tell me that. Although, something. I'm sorry, innocent. Okay, whatever. What the hell is this? Nature, Pap, Bav, everything hurts. Why does my brain not work right? Damn. Because I was born wrong. Nothing on earth can save me. Never ending. Religion won't save. Wow. I guess that's the book right there. Crazy. Space cake. That's probably true. All those medications, prescription shit that they give people. But I remember you couldn't even talk about this because Steven Crowder, when he put out the information about this, like the manifesto, they gave him a strike. He's not even monetized on YouTube anymore. You can't even talk about this shit. You can't even they'll demonetize you, and if you release something that's not out there, then they'll strike you. And so now this information is coming forward, which is, I guess, kind of interesting. I don't know. The Tennessee mass shooter murdered 3 children and 3 adults. Crazy. And there was a whole manifesto about how they plotted in detail, explaining, I guess, what they wanted to do and why they wanted to do. And this person was in the school and involved with children and even had a little thing here, toys and books. Isn't that crazy? Oh.
I don't think I would have told that.
Pretty wild. Well, anyway, I guess for now, let me do another. I'll do one more sweep and see if there's something else. But I guess for now, I'll head out. Let me see. Active school shooter. They're saying it's over though. From what I've seen, let me see. Top. I guess they arrested the person. I don't know.
Those students.
Yeah. I think it's already over. I think, so yeah, I'll just update the story. If they do a press conference later, which I feel like they'll do, they usually do a press conference and they update everybody. I'll come back and we'll see what's up. But, I mean, I don't know. This is just what's going on, in our lives, every day. Crazy. Still got a lot of kids out there. I mean, I don't know. Here in Florida, man, at least the places my kid has been to, they have cops with guns on scene. Like the school my daughter goes to now, they have security and they have cops with guns. At least one that I know, one or two of them. But not only that, there's cops literally outside of the school all around the area. So like if something went down, I mean I guess they probably could kill a couple of people, but not a high chance of them making it out of there.
Did you know YouTube is the
Hey JB.
Or something.
I'm in South Africa, but living in the Netherlands. Stuff like this never happens. Why is that? I wonder why. Is it something in the food? Non-GMO, GMO? Is it something in the medications? You want to give your kids all these meds and shit. The vaccines? We're going to go that crazy? We can go there. I don't know. Is it the parents? Maybe we should lock up all the parents. This is life. They locked up what was it? Ethan Crumley. They locked up his parents. Maybe we need to start arresting all these parents. I mean, but at the same time, you could argue, like, you know, some people really have done the best that they can, and there's nothing you can do for some of these, I don't know, these kids. Maybe we should just start locking up all these parents. Maybe that's the only solution. I don't know, like, right? Like, lock them up. Mr. Mama. Okay. There's not much information, but besides the high school lockdown, shots fired, and they were evacuated to the football stadium. That's why you see like a large amount of kids there. Rumor, I don't know if it's true. Rumor, 3 or 4 people dead, but I have no way to verify that. That's what people are saying online. I don't know if it's true.
Driving drunk over Labor Day weekend. 55-year-old.
No.
Social media accounts on X, on Facebook, that's where they said that they were going to release more information. I haven't seen those just yet. We do know that Fox 5's Kevin Stewart should be pulling up to that scene any minute now. So probably getting more details live on the scene out there. As Dana mentioned, the governor now also confirming that he is sending all of the resources that he can out here. When we spoke to Fox 5's Kevin Stewart, he said that he saw mostly Gwinnett County license plates, but also Barrow County, even Butts County. So a number of agencies all coming in from the area to provide assistance out here. We did see from our Skyfox chopper that folks were being loaded in, at least one person being loaded in a helicopter, being flown to an area hospital, at least one person being put inside an ambulance to be taken to a local hospital. And again, what we learned from our Fox 5 Atlanta Bureau is that this was an active shooter situation since it has been cleared since then. Hundreds of students were seen brought out to the football field. Those students are being asked to be picked up either by their parents or they will be taken home by a school bus if the parents are not able to come and get them. And we also saw from our Skyfox cameras, Barrow County, Hall County, Gwinnett County, state troopers, the GBI, all on scene helping with this investigation. What you're seeing right now is a live look, and you can see what looks like command center units, as well as a number of law enforcement. That looks like an ambulance all out there, law enforcement staging in the area. We saw high school students piled on the field. This is a school with 2,000 9th through 12th grade students. So a number of students that will all have to be safely taken back by their parents or by school bus if parents aren't able to get them. Looks like they have a tent set up over there as well. It's probably going to be a very fluid situation getting their parents to their students. Parents might be asked to stay with their students as well. Okay, and we are going to go back to Dana now. Dana Fowle now at the news desk. Dana, I'm told that you have some new information that just came in.
Absolutely. We just gave you Brian Kemp, the governor's remarks. Now we're getting more information coming in from officials, and this came in to us just before noon, the Barrow County Sheriff's Office. So here we go. Authorities are currently on the scene of a school shooting at Apalachee High School. That's Heyman Morris Road. Approximately 10:23 a.m., officers from multiple law enforcement agencies agencies and fire and EMS personnel were dispatched to the high school. There was a reported active shooting going on. At the time of the release, again, this was just before noon, one person is in custody. Casualties have been reported. However, details on the number of casualties and their conditions is not confirmed at this time. It's an ongoing situation. Updates will be released when available. This is coming from Sheriff Judd Smith. This is Barrow County Sheriff's Office, again confirming that a suspect is in custody, that there was in fact a school shooting, and that they have casualties. We do not know the number at this point. We also have just received a press release from the FBI. FBI Atlanta is aware of the current situation at Apalachee High School in Barrow County. Agents are on the scene. They are coordinating and supporting local law enforcement. So it's not a lot of new information, but it's critical information. Someone is in custody. There have been casualties. We do not know the number. Law enforcement from around the state is there. The governor is keeping an eye on the situation. FBI is on the scene. And you can see students are now being released to their parents, to the state.
So maybe the rumor is true. Like they're saying supposedly like 3 or 4 people were killed and shot. Like, I don't know. And supposedly like teachers were targeted too. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what the hell is going on with these kids. The kids are messed up, but also their parents are messed up too. So I also understand like there's good parents and like I don't know. You can't help what some of these kids are doing, I guess. I mean, I think about. I know this is like a different situation, but I think about Jeffrey Dahmer and his parents, like the mother and the father. They had issues. Mama was gone, so it was just the father, and the father had left Jeffrey at the house for like a prolonged period of time. He just dipped out. You figured this shit out on your own. He was seeing some other woman, I think, or something. And while he was left, you know, what's that saying? There's a saying, idle hands and the devil, right? Idle hands and the devil. I think that's kind of true sometimes. Idle hands and devil. There's a saying, idle hands are the devil's worship, or something, right? We can leave these people with nothing to do. They start coming up with shit. Got nothing else to do. But I don't know what this person's, with their school shooting, what their situation is or was. And it's scary now to even send your kids to school. Like, you can't even send your kids to school anymore. Right? Like, all this insanity that's happening, bullying, and whatever else. It's just different now. Devil's worship, right? Devil's workshop. Okay. And I found that to be true. Even when I was a kid. Like, if I didn't have shit to do, I just kind of, like, start fucking with shit. I used to have a thing with fire when I was a kid. I used to, like, just... I used to just like to light shit. If I had nothing to do and my parents were around, I'd just start burning shit just because it's fun. I don't know. You know, but never anything like this. And I feel like these kids are... I don't know, like the depravity of society and their parents. A lot of it's like the parenting too. Like, I don't know. And kids are very resilient. So even if you're not that good, you don't have to do much. But still, you know, it's like, well, what's going on with these kids and mental health? Want to shoot up people at school? Why do you have your guns loose in the house? I don't know what the laws are in Georgia. And it's honestly, it seems like the laws don't matter, right? Because in some of the most restricted places, oh, somebody's live at the high school. And some of the most gun-restricted places, they have the most violence, right? Okay, hold on. Lindsay, thank you. Hold on. This person's live? Yeah, I don't hear anything what you're saying, though. Oh, it's muted. Okay, unmute.
These sirens increased, so I checked with my husband. I made sure he was good and the kids were inside the house. I locked all the doors. put on my shoes and came outside. I have friends here. I'm gonna flip you around just for this so you can see the helicopter landing.
So she's live in the area right now, on scene. Lindsay, thanks so much for giving me the link.
No privacy rights, true, but I'm still not going to show kids' faces.
They need Mr. Clark.
I'll let you know. You're going to go all the way up to the stadium, but you're going to go to the far side. Yes, by the far gate.
Said he was. Thank you.
Stay on the grass.
Yeah, I see you. I see you.
I am not sure now that the helicopter's down. I can't see it. This is Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia. This is the school. No, we've seen at least one helicopter land. They are just asking parents to stay on the grass in order for emergency vehicles to keep going and get in and out. I will not turn the camera around. We know for a fact there's been at least one victim because a very calm mother said that her daughter had called her, she was on the phone with her, and she was in ambulance 2, and they sent her to ambulance 2 instead of the stadium. So that's what I can tell you for sure.
And they're saying that from the news articles that I read, they said somebody got airlifted via the helicopter, like medical evac. So usually when you're getting evacuated via helicopter, like that's really like you're critical. Like we can't wait for I mean, there's probably ambulances there. We can't, the traffic, we just need to get a helicopter to get you out, to get you going. Casualties have been reported. There's no specific number of casualties. Rumors are like 3 to 4, but I don't know if that's true, you know?
Right there, there's the helicopter. Oh, okay, well, they've got everybody out here because the game warden's here now.
Who? The warden? Game warden?
I'm standing looking, and there are Gwinnett County State Patrol, state game wardens.
Cutting out a little bit. It's
Barrow
in
County, Walton
Georgia.
County, City of.
It's in Georgia. Apalachee High School is in Barrow County, Georgia.
State game wardens.
And Winder, Georgia.
Barrow County, Walton County, City of.
Her feed is kind of cutting in and out, but. Come on, Mama. Mama's love.
In Winder, outside of Atlanta, currently in a hard lockdown.
Back with us is Frank Figluzzi. Frank, and we're seeing these pictures from a helicopter. This is a school that has been placed under hard lockdown, Apalachee High School, and it is apparently one of only 2 high schools in the Barrow County Public Schools District. We understand that students are being released from school at this hour. These are live pictures. Frank, and this is just breaking news. What do we think is happening right now?
So the key here in these early moments, even hours, is containment of the scene to ensure that not only are you dealing with the wounded and injured, and there have been reports of helicopters flying the wounded out of the area, but also from a law enforcement perspective, do we have the shooter or shooters, plural, in custody?
They're saying it's the person in custody.
That's the setup going on right now. And then you're also setting up a family reunification center, telling parents who have other location where they'll be given updates, hopefully reunited with students once a lockdown is passed. We're dealing with a very small community. As you said, only 2 high schools in the entire county. Winder is a town about 42 miles to northeast of Atlanta. It's now considered commutable to the Atlanta metropolitan area. High school has less than 2,000 students. What does that mean? It means it will be easier to clear that building for law enforcement looking for shooters, and also, by the way, looking for employees and students hiding. One of the things you are concerned about in clearing this scene is that someone's hiding somewhere, scared out of their minds, not knowing it's over, and you've got to get them safely out of their hiding space.
Lisa saying 2 dead, 4 injured, MSNBC.
So lots of issues, a lot of chaos sometimes in these early moments. We don't know a lot, but reports coming from the scene are disturbing enough that here we are talking about it.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just the beginning of a new school year throughout our country. And as you say, Frank, I mean, this is about
welcome back to school.
1,900 students enrolled at this high school, one of 2 high schools in the Barrow County Public School District. And Frank, it seems, and there have been reports of a massive police presence and a response, very quick response to what appears to be some gunfire breaking out here.
Yeah, you'd have all hands on deck from local and county and state law enforcement, and even nearby federal agents would be responding at this time. And sadly, we need all hands on in real time.
The majority, if not most, of the students have been evacuated to what seems to be.
Okay. So they are saying there's casualties, but nothing confirmed, like as far as numbers. I guess you got off. Actually struggling.
Bulletproof glass, so it is sort of a fortified area when you talk about the ability of somebody to enter a campus and to inflict harm on students here.
That is just some of the coverage from Fox 5 Atlanta. We are continuing to follow it for you here on Live Now from Fox. Well, we can tell you we do have a suspect in custody, and right now students are being let to their parents and guardians at the moment, but still a very, very active scene that is going on out in Georgia. We want to keep this story going as well as try to provide you as much.
There's multiple reports of supposedly 2 people dead so far. Lindsay also sent me breaking school shooting at Apalachee High School. I'm at Grady Hospital where the victims are being rushed to the ER. Okay.
In the past with school shootings.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mike. Thanks for having me on. Yes, as a matter of fact, today was the first school day for my senior. And so for many across the nation, whether it be this week post Labor Day or just a few weeks prior, this is a brand new school year which is supposed to be filled with all the joys and of course all the nerves that go with being in school, but yet so early in a school year, perhaps first day for many there, that we have yet another tragic school shooting.
Yes, no doubt about that. And let's talk a little bit about, from the law enforcement perspective, when they get a call or multiple calls about reports of shots fired in a high school. If you can just give us some insight on what that is and what that response looks like coming onto a class of about 2,000 students.
Yeah, so this is a good size high school. And regardless of the size, the protocols and the training practices are going to be very similar for law enforcement, both federal, state, and local. So in a situation like this, and of where this is a repeated act throughout the year, law enforcement has learned so much from its mistakes and as well as putting in best practices. So when you have a school shooting, a report of a shooting, a lockdown, etc., you have local law enforcement. If there's not already a school resource officer in place, you definitely have local law enforcement that is probably on scene within minutes, if not seconds. And then, of course, there is that ripple effect where their federal partners are equally called. And so that means any uniformed officer, any officer with means of communication is responding to the school. This is not, that's not my jurisdiction. This is all hands on deck. And as I already saw, that the FBI was en route and probably already on scene. So you're talking about as officers begin to arrive, they are immediately stacking up. And what I mean by stacking up, as soon as there are 2, 3, 4, 5 officers, that's a team that's going into the school and addressing the threat. They're not waiting outside. And then, of course, as casualties have been reported, those that are first responders are there to stop the threat. And so if the active shooting is still taking place, those officers are going to move quickly to the sound of that gunfire and then deal with the threat as they see fit. And then, of course,
good day, everyone. We're coming on the air with breaking news about a deadly school shooting in Winder, Georgia. That's about an hour northeast of Atlanta. The early reports were that around 10:20 this morning, law enforcement were summoned to the school on word of an active shooting. What we can tell you right now is that 2 people are confirmed dead, at least 2 people, at least 4 people have been injured. Good day, everyone.
Setting up an outside perimeter, waiting for the all clear by law enforcement that the active shooter has ceased. And so now everyone responding in to care for the injured, and just as you can imagine, it's chaos with parents, staff, children, just trying to do what they've been trained. And that is that run, hide, fight, which is if you can run, get out of there. If you can't, it's hide. And at the last resort, fight. And that is the last resort. And so federal, state, and local partners, no matter where in the United States, are receiving very similar training and are enacting that training, putting it into place.
And Scott, let's talk a little bit about how the police response has changed throughout the years. Let's go from 1999 to today. In 1999, I'm talking about Columbine. We saw a much different response, almost waiting until you don't hear the shots anymore. And what is that perspective like now as we go back all these years? How has that changed?
Yeah. So, of course, Columbine, and it had played out in the news for 4 weeks with the aftermath. This was something somewhat new, not the first, but definitely of its nature, where you had many casualties and the school reacted in such a way that this was something that was fairly new for the nation. So what did it do for law enforcement? Law enforcement did what it did back then. Ultimately, you wait. If the shooter were to come out, you would address the shooter. But the training back then was officers would be arriving. They would be assessing the scene. They would be holding that scene until these elite units, SWAT or some sort of similar type of training squadron comes in and deals with the threat. And so those were the old days. Those were the days pre-Columbine, and then Columbine, as a result, changed that, where law enforcement from federal, state, and local across the board said we can't do that. We cannot wait until our tactical experts come. We have to train, because each and every officer that carries a weapon should be able to deal with a threat and not wait for backup and so forth. And so these new training, alert training, Alice
Rabbit,
training,
how you doing?
it is that run, hide, fight for the sake of any kid that is and staff member involved in the school. But then for law enforcement across the nation, I receiving it way back in mid 2000s, where this training is, hey, no matter what you do, you are make sure that you have visible. If you're, let's say you're not a uniformed police officer, you're someone who's a detective or plainclothes, you're given these sashes or anything outside to show that you are law enforcement, so you avoid friendly fire. And as officers are arriving, they could be strangers. They could be different departments, not officers that usually train with each other. And so but they've all had this similar training, so they know to, as soon as they're a couple of numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers, and that's within seconds, if not minutes, that way they are going into the school and looking for and listening for sound of gunfire, address that threat, remove that threat, determine what other threats that may exist. And then, of course, then you have the outer perimeters and so forth, the first aid that are then able to come and deal with the injured, and as an orderly process as possible of removing students from that school, because it's a very active crime scene. And so law enforcement throughout decades now are pretty much all trained in this similar training. So that way it's not like East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, wherever have you, officers know, hey, I got to deal with the threat, and I'm not going to wait much longer. So as soon as a couple are there, they're moving in quickly. And so it's an annual training to where officers know they don't have much time
at this high school. And I have to mention, as Scott, just as we're talking about how things have changed throughout the years, also technology as well. My friend is in the ATF and always told me this story. It talked about he was at Columbine, after the scene and after the horrific nature of that. He was also at the shooting years later at the movie theater, and just how many years removed from that. But what has changed was when he was in that movie theater, when the bodies were still there, you had all of those people that still had their cell phones, and so many people were trying to call and check on their loved ones. And in Columbine, obviously, he didn't have that because the cell phones just weren't prominent for high schoolers back then. But now it is just so different. And what that must be for law enforcement to have to hear that, knowing that that person is gone, but that loved one is still trying to hold on to hope.
Yeah. So, today's day and age, it is just about everybody at a very young age has been afforded a cell phone. And so that cell phone is a lifeline. And I know schools across the nations are dealing with cell phones with regards to, hey, let's not put our children on cell phones at the time that they should be learning. Absolutely. There should be some sort of protocols in place that remove that cell phone from being a distraction. But like today, it's a reminder to all of us that cell phones, no matter where we go, are important. They're important to law enforcement because it's instant. All
right. This is what these people are saying.
You know, after there was a lockdown and there were reports of gunfire. So we're going to continue to work this scene. We hope to gather more information with a news briefing in just moments. So stay right here
News briefing
with Atlanta News First. And as we gather new details, we will share them with you guys.
Yeah, Adam, thanks for that. We actually just got a brief report from Chelsea Bimfor, who's also just showed up to the scene. She's going to have a brand new report and new video for you in just moments. But I just want to give you a bit from what she's told us so far. She told us she talked to someone who says their loved one was in the room where a shooting happened. She is distraught, as you may imagine. She told us she has seen parents running down the street trying to get to the school. They also had to park about a mile away where Chelsea had to park as well. Again, police are still barricading the area off so people aren't able to just come right up to the school where they are and park. They're parking a mile away and running to get to their children right now, she's saying of the parents. She said she's seen people crying out there. She says that a mom came up to her sobbing, asking if we knew anybody who'd been confirmed as one of the victims. And again, no victim information has been released at this point, but that just gives you an idea of how terrifying this is for anybody who has a loved one who attends Apalachee High School right now. Again, we're going to have a live report so Chelsea can give you what happened straight from her mouth, from what she's seen and experienced out there. Again, we're trying to make sure we stick to the fact up here. We don't want to repeat or say anything that is just speculation. A lot of speculation on social media right now, so we just want you to be wary of that.
Yeah, one suspect is in custody. That we are confident.
They're saying one suspect in custody and supposedly 2 dead.
Sources. We don't know where that suspect is, whether the suspect is still in the building or whether the suspect has been removed from the building, and what the condition of the suspect is, whether or not there was any type of gunfire exchanged with the suspect.
Ivan,
That's information that we are waiting to learn. Obviously, there are a lot.
Ivan says, thank you for the 5. Cell phones are doing more damage to our youth than any good. I didn't have a cell phone in high school, and I turned out very well and successful. Yo, I didn't have a cell phone till I think I was like 17. And we had to like beg for that shit. Now the kids, it's different, but we had to really like beg for it. And I remember my first cell phone was a Nokia. That's all I had was Snake Eater on there. There was nothing else, like this little Snake app, whatever.
About a half a mile from the high school. We had to park up here on the top of this hill about a mile away. You can see some other people walking towards us, likely parents of students here trying to come and pick their children up. Because there are so much law enforcement here and so much going on, they're asking parents to park up there too and walk down this road to get their children. So we've spoken to several of these people as they've been making their way towards the high school. First, we spoke with an older sister who says she got a frantic call from her younger sister who's a freshman at Apalachee High School. She said, there's a shooter, we're out on the football field, can you please come pick me up? Then we spoke to a grandmother who says her freshman grandson was in the room where someone got shot. She said her daughter was already here picking her grandson up, but she wanted to also come and make sure he was okay. Again, we have no idea how many fatalities there have been, but the sheriff's office is saying there are
cell phones are doing more damage to our youth than any good. I didn't have a cell phone in high school, and I turned out very well and successful.
Half a mile from the high school. They're a little bit further away, but as they keep walking down here, we will try to speak with some of them about what they're seeing and hearing. And just one more thing before we toss it back to you guys. Another frantic mother came up to us a few minutes ago and said, do you know the names of the students involved? At this point, of course, we don't have those names, but she said, my son is a senior. I can't get in touch with him. Of course, very upset and crying. We're working to get this information verified as quickly as possible, guys.
All right, Chelsea Bimfor live there on the scene, and I can only imagine what it's like for those parents and siblings.
This is tough. This is a tough situation. Anybody who has a child can certainly understand what these parents must be feeling as they are running a mile to get to the school to find out if their loved one is one of these victims. We do know that several victims have been taken to the hospital, to area hospitals. So certainly some parents who may have been notified may be showing up there. We do know that someone has been airlifted to Grady Memorial Hospital. That means their injuries must have been very serious to need to be airlifted instead of being taken via a vehicle to get to the hospital nearby that area. And it's tough. You might hear our voices breaking a bit because this is hard. We understand these are children that we're talking about here, children in our area who've just either suffered something so horrible or they've witnessed it and they will never be the same after this. So it is a tough day. Chelsea, if we still have you there, if you're able to see what road you're on, it seems like some parents are having some success getting that way. Do you know if parents are being told to come where you are or if they have just come that way trying to get to their kids any way that they can? What can you tell us?
Well, Lana, here comes another police car right now that was an unmarked car, so I'm not sure what agency it is, but that's another thing we've seen here. This is Tom Miller Road, about half a mile from the high school. We've only been out here about 20 minutes, but we've just seen several of these police cars race by. We've actually seen 2 ambulances as well coming down this street. So as far as where parents are being told to park, I don't think there's a precise direction. They're coming from all over the place. So again, there's another entrance on the other side of the school, on the back side of the school. But from where we are on Tom Miller Road, they were being asked to park at an intersection just up the street and walk about a mile down towards Apalachee High School. Again, here come 2 more police cars. These do appear to be Georgia State Patrol vehicles that are passing. Excuse me, it looks like there's 4 of them. A very large law enforcement presence out here. We know Georgia State Patrol is here, the GBI is here, the FBI is involved, and of course the Barrow County Sheriff's Office and Winder Police Department all on scene as well. We've also seen Lawrenceville Police Department cars making their way down towards Apalachee High School.
Chelsea, these cars that we see, the law enforcement vehicles, are they heading to the school or away from the school?
The ones that you just saw zooming past us are actually heading away from the school. So, unclear where those are going, but we are being told that one suspect is in custody. So, of course, they have a lot more investigating to do here as well, trying to figure out what the motive was behind this and what led up to the shooting.
We should mention, when you see we have the word casualties on the screen right now, when police talk about casualties, that could mean that someone has been killed or injured.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that that the person, the casualty, is dead. It could be someone who has been killed or injured. And so the number of casualties at this point, we don't know. We have not gotten that information, but we have seen so many ambulances. Adam was talking about 6 to 8 ambulances that he had witnessed himself, just sort of, speeding away from the
Legendary,
scene.
what's
we
up?
also did witness someone put it into a helicopter and choppered to Grady Memorial Hospital. This is video, not live, but video of one of those airvacs, the one that has a patient in it that left the scene. This is probably about an hour or so ago that this took place. And so the original calls, just to catch you up here at 12:40 on this Wednesday afternoon, the original calls came in just after 10:20 this morning. Reports of gunfire at Apalachee High School. Police then responded to those calls, and we've gotten this statement from the Barrow County Sheriff's Department as we take a look at these live pictures of parents walking to the campus of Apalachee High School to be reunited. They're praying with their children. That at approximately 10:23, officers from multiple law enforcement agencies and fire EMS personnel were dispatched to the high school in reference to a reported active shooting. One suspect is in custody and casualties have been reported. Details on the number or their conditions is not available at this time. And again, this is video. These are not live pictures. This is video that we've been gathering over the last 90 minutes or so since we first went on the air with this, showing you the scene, which at various times has been active or I don't want to say inactive, because obviously there's a lot going on there.
Right.
But but we've seen a lot of law enforcement sort of walking around without the sense of urgency that you would expect if there was an active shooter still at large. And when we say that there's one person in custody, we don't know whether or not there are any other suspects that they're looking for. So again, a lot of information we don't know, a lot of rumors flying around on social media. We're going to stick to the facts and report that to you as we take a look at these pictures. Again, video from moments ago, not live, of that law enforcement officer who was armed walking towards the building, some of the other law enforcement vehicles that were brought to the scene.
And as far as that one suspect who is in custody right now, we have not been given any information about that person as well. So we don't know whether that is a man, a woman, whether that was a student, whether that was a random person who made their way onto the school. There have been 0 confirmed reports from law enforcement as to who the suspect is. Same story for the victims. No confirmed reports of who the victims are as of 12:41 right now. But Chelsea, we want to get back to you because you are the only person right now who is standing anywhere near parents seem to be able to get close enough to this school to find their children. We know you've talked to multiple parents or grandparents of students at the school. Can you tell us what you've heard?
Well, guys, we are trying to talk to more families as they come down this hill here on Tom Miller Road. These are actually some other media outlets and news crews that are walking towards us right now. But behind them, it does look like there are some more families. So it's just been incredibly emotional in the very short time that we've been out here. We spoke to 2 families who had made contact with their students or their grandchildren and knew that they were okay and that they were on the football field and that's where they were heading to pick them up. But then we spoke to another mother who had not heard from her son. She said he's a senior. She said, do you know the names of the students involved? Which, of course, we don't have that information yet, as all of this is still very active. But she was very shaken up, trying to get to the school as quickly as possible. Again, these parents are having to park about a mile away and walk down here in order to pick their students up from the football field or outside the school. Again, we're going to try to speak to some of these parents if one of them would be willing to speak with us on live TV. So we'll get back with you in just a second.
All right, Chelsea, we'll let you go and do that as we get everybody caught up to speed here at 12:43. On this Wednesday afternoon, you're taking a look at a map where there has been a school shooting at Apalachee High School in Barrow County, Winder, that is northeast, about an hour north of downtown Atlanta. There has been a shooting with multiple casualties, and a suspect is in custody. That's about what we know and what we've been able to confirm right now. The call came in to law enforcement at around 10:23. Law enforcement from multiple jurisdictions arriving at the scene, state, local, federal law enforcement there, as students were evacuated to the football field to be in a safe location while law enforcement worked at the scene and all of this unfolded. We've seen one person airlifted away in a helicopter taken to Grady Memorial Hospital. We've seen a number of other ambulances speeding away from the scene, presumably taking patients to local hospitals where we have gotten reports of people showing up, patients showing up with gunshot wounds. Again, we're working to confirm the details on exactly how many people we're talking about and exactly what state, what's going on right now in terms of the investigation and whether or not there are any more suspects that are being looked for. But again, it's a terrible scene unfolding this morning in Metro Atlanta, where this epidemic in our country of school shootings has hit home, very close to home in Metro Atlanta today.
This is a tough day, and it has been heartbreaking watching these parents run down the street trying to get as close as they can to their kids. As far as we know, nobody is being allowed on the campus other than law enforcement personnel right now. So parents have just been in a long line of cars near the school waiting to see when they'll be allowed onto the campus to ensure their child is not one of these victims. And we've seen other parents just parking, we're told, a mile away and walking down the street to get as close as they can. We have several reporters on scene right now to make some sense of this, because we want to make sure we give you the facts. We want to give you information from people who are there right now and people who have dug into information that is verified. So we have Chelsea Bimeford on scene, Yasmina Alston has just arrived on scene, and Adam Murphy is on scene. They are all there gathering information right now. We also have Andy Parati in studio. Andy, we know you've dug into a lot of information as far as this situation goes. So what can you tell us this afternoon?
Yeah, so what you're likely looking at in the images seeing on the screen is an action plan that the school and local law enforcement have put in place. And that's because once a year, schools are required to do active shooter drills. And that's according to a law that went into effect last year that requires active shooter training drills once a year at the school district. The law also requires schools to report completion of the drills to the Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. Also, schools are required to create a school safety plan to reduce the growing incidence of gun violence in schools, as we've been talking about, and also the creation of a state-approved school safety and anti-gang program training teachers who want to volunteer to identify potential gang activity. According to Everytown for Gun Safety, unfortunately, as we all know, this is not the first gun incident in Georgia or United States in general. According to national numbers, so far this year, there have been 133 gun-related incidents so far this year. 38 of those resulted in fatalities, 81 injuries. Again, we're not talking about specifically Georgia. This incident, we're talking about national numbers nationwide so far this year. We don't know whether there were any metal detectors in place at this school, but we do know, according to the student code of conduct that we reviewed, that the school's conduct does have the ability, the school does have the ability to use handheld metal detectors if they suspect a student or someone else at the school may be carrying a weapon. So just some added perspective as we're looking at these images, that you are looking likely at an action plan in place that the school and local law enforcement have been working on for years, especially since the school and the state implemented that new law last year requiring active shooter drills at least once a year. Those drills are required to be conducted at least by October 1st, guys.
Andy, we appreciate that context. As we take a look at this video from earlier, these are not live pictures from the scene. This is video that we've gotten over the last hour and a half or so. One of our reporters who's there at the school in front of Apalachee High is Adam Murphy. Adam, fill us in. What are you seeing now?
All right, Rick, so we actually moved to a new location. We're actually on the front lawn area of Apalachee High School. You can see the law enforcement vehicles behind us. That's the front of the school you're looking directly at. We moved into this area because we have been told by law enforcement that this is where they will gather and hold a news briefing. We have not been given a time for that news briefing, but we have repositioned ourselves to be in place once they come out and provide some updated information. I can tell you, if you look to your left, you will notice the football stadium kind of behind the school, and that is where all the students were taken once there was an active shooter reported and the school went down, or went on lockdown, I should say. Everybody was taken from the inside of the school back over there to the football stadium in the stands, and that is where we've seen many parents making their way over there to check on their children. I have had an opportunity to speak with a few parents and others who have children that attend this school. One woman just moments ago declined to talk on camera, but did tell me in a very emotional response that it's been a very difficult day for her loved one that was in the school, and out of respect for the child, she decided that it was probably not best to discuss what she may have experienced or witnessed. And that's kind of the theme I've run into here. I think everybody's still in shock, as you would imagine. I mean, it's such a traumatic thing. You know, you talk about anyone that has children. I mean, this is definitely a worst nightmare scenario for any parent to have to deal with. And so we're just trying to make sure that we respect their space, but also provide any updated information as it becomes available. Again, several law enforcement agencies are here. We've heard multiple reports that we know one individual, right, was arrested and taken into custody, as a potential shooter. But we don't know if there were others involved. And we have seen a number of rescue units, emergency personnel, ambulances come and go throughout the afternoon. Now, we've sort of reached a bit of a stall or a quiet point here where there hasn't been a lot of activity. I reported earlier that there was a helicopter that flew in and it transported at least one individual earlier and then came back, but it's still sitting out on the front lawn near the flagpole and has not left since we reported that over a half an hour ago. So I think it's probably here in the event that it needs to take anyone to a level 1 trauma center like Grady in an emergency situation, but it still remains here, that chopper does, that medic unit. So we're going to continue to hold tight here, see if we can speak with any other parents that are arriving, and also hope that we get some new information from law enforcement very soon. And as soon as that happens, we will carry that live for you right here on Atlanta News First, guys.
All right, Adam, thanks very much. Yeah, as a parent of high school students myself, not at this school, but in Fulton County, it is difficult to report on these types of situations. And I know from my own kids that they do go through these active shooter drills, not just high school students, but through all ages of kids here. They go through these active shooter drills where the school lets parents know, tomorrow we're going to be doing this, just so you know your child's going to be taking part in one of these drills. And so this is something that schools prepare for, and of course this is something, as we were hearing from Andy, that law enforcement prepares for, that is mandated by law. We also will wait for some information on SROs, school resource officers, who are assigned to this school. We don't know exactly what their role was in the response to this, but often, they are the first responders because they are there when an emergency actually takes place, as opposed to other law enforcement that has to arrive at the scene. And we know from the terrible situation in Parkland, Florida, for example, where the school resource officer did not go into the school after hearing gunshots. So that was a big controversy, understandably, that involved lawsuits, in fact, in Parkland, Florida. But take a look at these pictures now. You can see that chopper that Adam was talking about that had flown a patient earlier to Grady Memorial Hospital and then flew back. It looked like the same chopper, the one that we saw take off earlier. So it might, in fact, be that same helicopter that has not been loaded up with any additional patients to transport at this point. We are hearing from the White House press office that President Biden has been briefed by his Homeland Security advisor on the tragic shooting at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia, and the administration will continue coordinating with federal, state, and local officials as we receive more information. That is the statement from the White House. And so the president has been briefed, and we have seen FBI, federal law enforcement there on the scene amongst all of the other law enforcement officers.
And we have Atlanta News First anchor Brooks Baptiste standing by as well. Brooks, you have more information about what Atlanta's mayor has said. Actually, we just lost Brooks, but I can tell you that Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens released a statement moments ago, and it says, "My prayers are with the high school students, staff, and families affected by the senseless act of violence in Winder, Georgia. I have been in contact with Chief Shearbaum, and the Atlanta Police Department has been working with the Atlanta Public Schools Police Department to bolster patrols around our schools for the rest of the day out of an abundance of caution. APD has also been on standby in case law enforcement agencies need assistance with this incident. May God comfort the victims and their loved ones in the difficult days ahead." And it has obviously been a very difficult day for the parents and loved ones of students and staff at this school as everybody tries to make sense of what's going on here. Again, we have confirmed there are multiple victims involved in this shooting. Some were transported to local area hospitals there in Winder. One was airlifted to the hospital here in our area, to Grady Memorial Hospital, which we know is a level 1 trauma center. And some parents, it seems, may have had contact with their kids. Others are still trying to reach out to their kids. There's a lot of chaos and a lot of questions at this hour that we are here for you with team coverage as we sort these things out.
Yeah, and we're going to stick to the facts, what we've been able to confirm. We know that there's a lot being circulated on social media. We are going to report what we can tell you as fact, what we've gathered from our trusted sources. We do know, again, that one person is in custody. We don't know anything about the person in custody. We don't know if it's a male or a female or a student or a former student. We have no information on that at all. But one person is in custody, according to law enforcement. And we've seen hundreds of students and faculty members brought to that football field that you see right there on the screen. And this is where parents are being told to go to gather their students. And we have seen parents walking, some of them from a mile or so away, having had to park their car and walk on foot to get close enough to be able to get to the campus. This is video from a little while ago, not live, but we have seen a contingent of law enforcement officers. At one point here, we're seeing video of what looked like law enforcement officers entering into the school building in some type of active formation, but we didn't learn anything more about what happened once they got inside the building. So, as Lana said, there are a lot of questions. We're going to get you the answers. And when we can report something, we will do so. But we are not going to speculate at all at this point. Brooks Baptiste has been covering this story from the beginning. And Brooks, as we take a look at this video now, and we are waiting for more information, it really is just a tragic day. These kids now are part of a club that no kid wants to be a member of, to be a student at a school where there's been a school shooting.
Yeah, Rick and Lana, this is just an awful and terrifying situation. I think we could all agree there. We are getting a lot of reaction that is pouring into the newsroom, and we are bringing those statements to you directly. So we are told that President Joe Biden has spoken with his Homeland Security advisor. The White House says his administration is going to continue coordinating with federal, state, and local officials. And that reaction is pouring in right now. Governor Brian Kemp saying that he is directing state resources to respond, and he's encouraging prayer. And prayer seems to be a common sentiment among most of the people who are speaking out about this awful situation here. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens also releasing a statement saying, quote, "My prayers are with the high school students, staff, and families affected by the senseless act of violence in Winder, Georgia. I have been in contact with Chief Shearbaum, and the Atlanta Police Department has been working with the Atlanta Public Schools Police Department to bolster patrols around our schools for the rest of the day out of an abundance of caution." Also been on standby. APD has been on standby in case law enforcement agencies need assistance with this incident. The mayor went on to say, "May God comfort the victims and their loved ones in the difficult days ahead." So again, guys, between the mayor, also several other officials speaking out right now, just calling for the community to come together in unity, as typically the community does, coming together in prayer and well wishes for all of those who have been impacted by this tragedy.
Yeah, Brooks, thanks for that. In the meantime, parents are worried right now. They are trying to get to their kids right now. So we want to take you back out live to Apalachee High School in Barrow County, where there are still students evacuated at the stadium. There are still a lot of parents trying to get to their kiddos. We have Chelsea Bimfor out there live with a witness. So, Chelsea, you got a live interview for us. What can you guys tell us?
Yeah, Lana, we have been speaking with parents, but I want to bring in Mark Knotts. He's a witness. He lives across the street from the high school. You don't have any children, Mark, but you said that you live across the street, and just tell us what you heard this morning.
Well, this morning when I woke up, I heard gunshots, and several of them. I couldn't tell exactly how many, so I went outside to smoke my cigarette like I do every morning. And I noticed about 5 minutes after that, cop cars were everywhere. Surrounding counties, surrounding 6 counties were everywhere. I'm talking about 1,000 cop cars. And I knew something was seriously wrong, and then I seen all the cars pulling on the side of the road and everything, and I just, I pray that, everybody's all right, and the people that have passed away, if there has been anybody, I just pray for their families and everything, and like I said, I just had to get away, and I'm just commuting to the store real quick, so.
you know, shortly after you heard those gunshots, did people start coming out of the school?
It was crazy. Like it looked like I didn't really pay no attention to it at first. I was like, those sound like they were at the school. And I look over, and then the alarms started going off, like the school alarms, and people were going out around the school, and like they're doing like the drill, you know, like the fire drill stuff is what I seen. And then I knew something was seriously wrong. And you don't hear about that happening. You hear about it happening all around the world, but it just shows that it can happen anywhere. And you know.
This community's pretty small, tight knit. I mean, it's usually
Bethlehem, there's really no seriously gunplay or nothing like that goes on around Bethlehem. You know, it hasn't been for years. It hasn't been that I can remember, and I'm 35 years old, so it's not really likely. So I mean, apparently, I don't know. I don't have no details, but apparently something was going on with somebody's mental. So that just shows that people need to be more aware of their children, if it was a child, about their mental state, because nobody never knows what the next man can do.
And you know, those are details we're still trying to work out as far as what happened and what the motive may have been. But thank you so much, Mark, for your time. You as well. And Mark was telling us he lives right across from the high school. He says, of course, it's just been chaos out there this morning. All kinds of police officers, parents, children. He was actually walking towards us with his head down. He said, I just need to step away from this for a little bit. He said he's walking up to the store to just take a breath. I mean, even people that really aren't involved with what happened at the school. This is a very highly emotional time for everybody in this community, guys.
Yeah, Chelsea, he mentioned mental health, and Representative Esther Panich actually did say that today. I know there's still a lot more emphasis on what has happened, but she did note for anybody affected or traumatized by what's happening right now at Apalachee High School, you can dial 988 and get help. This is such a horrible situation. And Chelsea, while we still have you here, I just wanted you to see if you could fill in what you've been hearing from parents. I know we don't have anybody who's willing to go live with you right now. As you can imagine, they are just trying to get to their babies and try to figure out what's going on there. But can you just fill us in of what you've heard from parents that you've talked to as they've rushed by you to get to the school?
Yeah, you know, we spoke with a grandmother who is very distraught. She was walking down the street here. Her grandson is okay, and she's so thankful that he's okay. But she said he was in the room where a classmate was shot. So she's very thankful that her grandson is doing fine. But she says, of course, mentally, this is going to be very hard and something he's not going to forget the rest of his life. We also spoke with another woman who said she was the older sister of a girl here that's 14 years old. And she was also racing down this street here to get there and pick her sister up. She said she was okay, but was completely shaken up. Said she got a phone call from her crying this morning saying there's an active shooter. Please come pick me up. And I think we do have some of that soundbite that we'll play for you now.
Is she okay? Have you talked to her? Yeah, I've talked to her. She's a little nervous. They're on the football field waiting on the parents to come get them. She's very nervous.
Did she hear the gunshot?
I don't know. She didn't tell me. She just called us and said, could you hurry up and come get us? There's an active shooter here. And my first thing was to make sure she was okay. Nobody was hurt. So that's my biggest concern.
When you heard there was an active shooter?
Yeah, my heart started beating. I was actually on my way to
Guns
go to work.
don't walk,
and
people do. Take away guns, another form of weaponry will replace them. In Brazil, many PPL are poisoned if they can't get a
the red
weapon.
light, and people were blowing, but there was nothing I could do. So the main thing is to make sure these kids are okay. So
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good luck. Be safe. And you can see we did that interview as she was, you know, almost jogging down to the school. This road here, Tom Miller Road, you can see people walking down it still at this hour, trying to get here, get off work and collect their children from the high school following the shooting that took place here this morning. Again, a lot of parents have made contact with their children and learned that they're okay, but we did speak with another mom who came up to us crying. She said she couldn't get in touch with her son, who's a senior here, was asking us for information, which of course we're still trying to get for everybody at home as well. We know that the sheriff's office is going to be holding a press conference shortly that Adam Murphy will be covering for us, guys.
All right, Chelsea, thanks very much. Your heart goes out to all the parents. That mom who dropped everything to rush, and thank goodness she was able to get in touch with her child who said she was okay. But again, the lasting trauma that these kids will experience as a result of having witnessed such a horrible act is something that will stay with them for a long, long time. There will be time to talk about mental illness and gun control legislation, possible things that people always talk about after these types of situations. But of course, right now is the time to gather information and so that we can tell you exactly what has taken place. And so we'll leave those discussions for later as we work to learn more about multiple casualties, people who have been injured. We do not know the severity of the injuries. We do know that there are multiple people who have been injured or killed in this incident today, this school shooting in Barrow County. And we're hearing from a number of different adjoining neighboring school districts, sort of again offering their prayers and support, talking about some of the safety procedures that are in place in their schools. And again, a lot of these schools, all of these schools now are mandated to have certain, different barriers, things that have been put in, technology that has been created specifically because of this epidemic of school shootings to fortify school entryways, doors that lock automatically with the push of a button so that someone can't enter the building from a different location. Different special glass that's installed, bulletproof glass used to try to fortify these entryways. And so, again, as we wait to learn more information about this, we'll also learn about some of the safety procedures that were in place at Apalachee High School and exactly how well that safety plan was actually, they were able to carry that out.
Because people will want to know if this could have been prevented. There are so few details out right now. All we know is that one suspect has been taken into custody. There have been no confirmed reports of any other suspects. So we do not know that either way at this point. We don't know the suspect's relation to the school. Is this a former student? Is it a current student? Is it someone who has no business being at the school? That is unconfirmed right now. We also don't have confirmation of how many victims or who those victims are. We are constantly updating our information out here. We're in contact with our producers and the reporters on scene. As soon as we get an update on that, we'll let you know immediately as we're live on air, trying to keep you posted as this is still an active situation. So we have multiple reporters on scene right now. Adam Murphy, Chelsea Beimfohr. We have people in studio here, but we want to get to Yasmina Alston, who is also out there on scene. Yasmina, what can you see from where you are?
Well, Anna, I can tell you that we're about a half a mile from the high school. And if you look behind me, you can see that this is where one of those checkpoints is set up, where officials are letting people know where they need to go. We've seen a ton of parents that have been trying to drive a little bit closer to both the high school and the middle school that are over in this area to get their kids, to check on their kids. You can also see a ton of those families that are making that walk. It's about a mile walk to get from where you see a lot of those cars parked over there to get over to the high school. If you look over here, you can see that there are some people that, are seeing each other as they're making that walk over and checking on one another. These two women here, they just gave each other a hug. I'm assuming they have been looking for each other. And that's sort of what we've run into as we've been standing here and talking to families. They're looking for other people that they may know. They're looking for answers. They're looking for loved ones. Another thing we've run into is a lot of parents that have students at the middle school here on Heyman Morris Road, that middle school that's right next to the high school, because that school is also on lockdown. So you've got parents outside of that school sitting and waiting for answers, waiting to see when they can get their children. A lot of unanswered questions for families who just have no idea when they're going to be able to get their kids. We did have the chance to speak with one woman earlier, and she says that she got a frantic call from her sister who says that her nephew was in the high school at the time of the shooting, and he told his mom that he heard gunshots in the classroom next to his. He, of course, was locked down in his classroom, but that's a terrifying call, a terrifying text to get as a parent. That woman told us she immediately came over here to the school to try and get her nephew. When she got that call, she says, all sorts of emotions and thoughts ran through her mind. She tells us that's the one call, the one text that no parent, no family member ever wants to get coming from a student at the school. Again, what we're seeing right now is a lot of families, a lot of parents walking to try and get answers. And you can, of course, even from where we are, you can see the large law enforcement presence that is out here as well. And again, there is a checkpoint leading up to the school to tell parents where to go, to tell loved ones where to go. But many are just choosing to make that mile walk to get as close as they can in hopes of learning more about where their child may be.
Thank you, Yasmina. We have an update right now, and it's not a good one. We can confirm, the CBS News has confirmed with 2 law enforcement sources that 2 people are dead and possibly 4 injured. The suspect, again, is in custody. That part we knew. But this is new information confirmed by CBS News. 2 people are dead and possibly 4 more injured in this shooting today at Apalachee High School in Barrow County. You're taking a look at law enforcement that is now walking up to microphones to give us an update. Let's take a listen. We'll listen with you to what law enforcement has to say.
Two minutes.
All right, so that is a 2-minute warning. That is just so that the media can get itself ready for this news conference. And you can see there, I'm not sure exactly who that is. I'm going to guess it's the Barrow County Sheriff, but I don't want to
misidentify him. Yeah, but you can see GBI on scene. We know FBI Atlanta is on scene. Multiple law enforcement agencies on scene. Gosh, you can hear our voices breaking just a bit. Again, we have confirmed via CBS News, 2 people have died. At least 4 people are injured. We watched live with you as one person was airlifted to Grady Memorial Hospital. We saw ambulances rushing away from the scene. We were told they were going to area hospitals. And again, we have just confirmed, CBS News has confirmed with their law enforcement sources, 2 people have died. 4 people at least are injured in this shooting at Apalachee High School. What a terrible day for our community, for that community, for the loved ones of the people who go to this school or work at this school. We are less than 2 minutes away now from a press conference. As you can see, they're getting set up here right now. Multiple law enforcement on scene right now, and they're going to weigh in on what's going on here today.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Sheriff Judge Smith. I'm the Sheriff of Barrow County Sheriff's Office. We're standing on the campus of Apalachee High School here at Barrow County Schools. First and foremost, I want to lift up our community. I want to give our sympathies to our community, our school system, our kids, our parents that had to witness this today. Obviously, what you see behind us is an evil thing today. At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter on this campus. We're not releasing any information as far as injuries.
Many other countries' PPL do not leave their house after 7 p.m. They have extreme gun laws. They tend to be communist. They tell you how much food you can buy. They tend to have repeat leaders in power.
The GBI and the agencies here behind me today, and there are multiple agencies that responded this morning to help us and help the sheriff's office. We do have a suspect in custody, and we are asking for your patience as the media to please let us get the facts that we need to make sure we get this right. Again, I've asked the GBI to help us, the sheriff's office, to help us along with this. I know this is not what you want to hear, but I'm not going to answer questions after this is over with. But I wanted to give you the respect and our community respect to let them know what was going on
there's
initially.
Nothing there because, of course, as you can imagine, that father was just trying to get the bare minimum information and then confirm that his child, who was in that classroom, was okay. He says a lot of terror going through him right now and stress. And he was just trying to make his way. He said it took him about half an hour just to walk down and get here to this location. Again, because of just the large response from law enforcement and then all of those hundreds of parents who are just trying to get here as quickly as they can. Tom?
All right. Great reporting there, Brittany. Thanks for that. We want to report information as we hear it in our ear. We're reporting it to you that according to the Barrow County Sheriff's Office, we're...
There you go. I know you have to go back on the air. That is my hope. But I wanted to be fluid with you all, understanding that it's fluid as well with this investigation. I appreciate you being patient with us. Again, it's very active and is ever developing. Every minute it's developing on what we're finding. So we're going to have releases from other schools. Again, we ask that you be patient with us. Please be patient with us. And hopefully I can give you more information or more better information if you will, this afternoon. Thank you all for coming out here. We'll be back shortly, okay?
Sheriff, it's been widely reported that people are dead. Is that true?
I'm not releasing any information. We have multiple injuries.
Can you say if the person in custody is an adult or a juvenile?
I'm not releasing any information. Guys, I'm not going to answer any more questions. It's time, okay? Thank you.
That is Sheriff Judd Smith.
Media, I just want to let everyone know that as the sheriff indicated right now, the priority right now is trying to get the students back with their families. We will be holding a news conference at 4 o'clock. If you're not already following us on Twitter, X, make sure you're following us. We'll be providing updates then. I know there are a lot of details, investigative details. You want more information. That is what the investigators are actively working on right now. You can add.
I mean, they didn't say shit.
The idea will be to be back here at 4 o'clock, but keep an eye on our social media. If that...
Hold up. Oh, they didn't say nothing. Thank you for your patience. Hold on, what's up?
Law enforcement on scene right now.
Sheriff Judd Smith. I'm the sheriff of Barrow County Sheriff's Office. We're standing on the campus of Apalachee High School here at Barrow County Schools. First and foremost, I want to lift up our community. I want to give our sympathies to our community, our school system, our kids, our parents that had to witness this today. Obviously, what you see behind us is an evil thing today. At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter on this campus. We're not releasing any information as far as injuries, but we have multiple injuries. This is a very, very fluid investigation. It's very early. And I have asked the assistance of the GBI and the agencies here behind me today, and there are multiple agencies that responded this morning to help us and help the sheriff's office. We do have a suspect in custody, and we are asking for your patience as the media to please let us get the facts that we need to make sure we get this right. Again, I've asked the GBI to help us, the sheriff's office. I'm not going to answer questions after what was going on initially. I want to thank. It is our hope
of this incident has passed, and that this person in custody means the end of the threat to people.
All right, so we'll come back at 4 then. I want to hear the press conference if they actually have anything to say. I mean, I don't know. There was a shooting. We won't say nothing. All right, cool. All right. So I guess we'll be back at 4 to see if they release some information, who was the shooter, who was deceased, how many people. He didn't mention casualties. I guess we'll have to wait. Casualties, how many people shot, and I guess we'll have to wait till then. I don't know. Another school shooting incident to add. So, all right. We'll be back at 4 then, guys, all right? Appreciate you guys hanging out. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll be back in a bit. All right? Peace. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.